Good day, everyone. Welcome to Development Psychologies. Nag-echo ako, I'm sorry. So, welcome to Development Psychologies, Albert Bandura's Social Cognitive Theory and Self-Efficacy. At the end of this session, you are expected and able to, number one, discuss Albert Bandura's social cognitive theory. Number two, analyze the mediational process or processes that affects learning by imitation. Number three is explain self-efficacy and its sources. Who is Albert Bandura? 1925 to present. Ooh, he's still alive. Albert Bandura is a psychologist and the David Starr Jordan Professor Emeritus of Social Science in Psychology at Stanford University. He is regarded as one of the most influential psychological scientists in the world. In 1961, Bandura conducted a famous experiment where he used an inflatable clown doll named Bobo to demonstrate that behavior takes place through imitating models. After watching an adult aggressively pummel a Bobo doll, children copied the same aggressive behavior by kicking, hitting, and throwing the doll. Children who watched the non-aggressive adult did not adopt the same degree of violent behavior toward the doll. These findings led to the development of social cognitive theory. Social cognitive theory. Although Albert Bandura initially called his theory the social learning theory or SLT, he renamed it as a social cognitive theory SCT in 1986 as a better description of how we learn from our social experiences. According to SCT or social cognitive theory, personality results from the interaction of individual thoughts with inner qualities, self-belief, and environmental cues. Again, according to SCT, personality results from the interaction of an individual's thoughts with inner qualities, self-belief, and environmental cues. Mediational process or processes. Mediational processes. Unlike the behaviorist theory, SCT believed that humans process information actively. Again, the mediational processes. Unlike the behaviorist theory, SCT believed that humans process information actively and think about their behavior and its consequences before acting. Observational learning could not occur unless cognitive processes were at work. These mental factors mediate, for example, intervene in the learning process to determine whether a new response is acquired. Thinking before imitation is called mediational processes. This occurs between observing the behavior, the stimulus, and imitating it or not response. According to Bandura, there are four mediational processes. Number one is attention, the extent to which we notice the behavior for a behavior to imitated it has to grab our attention. Or for behavior to imitated it, to be imitated. Again, according to Bandura, there are four mediational processes. Number one, attention. To extent to which we notice the behavior, for a behavior to be imitated, it has to be grab our attention. Number two is retention. How well the behavior is remembered. It is important that memory of the behavior is retained in order to be imitated later by the observer. Number three is reproduction. This is the ability to perform the behavior that the model has just demonstrated. People can be limited by abilities and therefore may not be able to reproduce the behavior. Number four is motivation. The will to perform the behavior. The rewards and punishment that follows a behavior will be considered by the observer. If the perceived rewards outweigh the perceived cost, if there are any, then the behavior will be more likely to be imitated by the observer. If the vicarious reinforcement is not seen to be important enough to the observer, then they will not imitate the behavior. Self-efficacy and social cognitive theory. As he explored the effects and potential of modeling, Bandura began to wonder about the role of self-efficacy, defined as individuals' belief about their ability to succeed at a task. His research determined convincingly that individuals who believe they can succeed at a task are more likely than others to actually succeed. According to Bandura, we find the people believe about their efficacy effect, the sort of choices they make in the very significant way. In particular, it affects their level of motivation and perseverance in the face of obstacles. Most successes requires persistent effort, so low efficacy becomes a self-limiting process. To succeed, people need the sense of efficacy strung together with the resilience to meet the inevitable obstacles and inequities of life. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. For students, this self-efficacy, coupled with the willingness to persist in the face of struggle, is crucial for academic success. Students who have limited self-efficacy are less likely to continue to try because they don't believe they can succeed. Whereas students who have strong self-belief are more likely to continue to apply themselves. Continuing research is in self-efficacy by Bandura and others demonstrated that regardless of previous achievements or ability, students with higher self-efficacy work harder, continue to try for longer, persevere when faced with the struggle, are more optimistic and less anxious, and achieve greater results. Association from Psychological Science 2016. There are 5 sources of efficacy belief. Number 1, mastery experiences. Success in mastering a task or controlling an environment will build self-belief in that area, whereas failure will undermine the efficacy belief. To have a resilient sense of self-efficacy requires experience in overcoming obstacles through effort and perseverance. Number 2 is vicarious experiences. Seeing people or role models similar to ourselves succeed by their sustained effort raises our belief that we too possess the capabilities to master the activity needed for success in that area. Number three is verbal persuasion. Influential people in our lives, such as parents, teachers, managers, or coaches, can strengthen our belief that we have what it takes to succeed. Being persuaded that we possess the capabilities to master certain activities means that we are more likely to put in the effort and sustain it when problems arise. Number four is emotional and physiological state. The state you're in will influence how you judge your self-efficacy. Depression, for example, can dampen confidence in our capabilities. Stress reaction or tension are interpreted as signs of vulnerability vulnerability to poor performance, whereas positive emotion can boost our confidence in our skills. Number five is imaginary experiences. Psychologist James Maddox has suggested a fifth route to self-efficacy through imaginal experiences. The art of visualizing yourself behaving effectively or successfully in a given situation. Again, number five, imaginal experiences. Psychologist James Maddox has suggested a fifth route to self-efficacy through imaginal experiences. The art of visualizing yourself being effectively or successfully in a given situation. We have here the references is from Akhtar Miriam, 2008. What is self-efficacy? From Bandura's Four Sources of Efficacy Belief, Positive Psychology, and Association for Psychological Science 2016, Albert Bandura to receive National Medal of Science. Bandura Albert, Social Learning Theory, Learning Theories retrieved from www.learningtheories.com, Social Learning Theory, Bandura, HTML. JL, Social Learning Theory by Bandura. In Learning Theories, June 19, 2015, www.learningtheories.com. Next is MacLeod, Sol, 2016, Bandura, Social Learning Theory, Simple Psychology. Retrieved from www.simplypsychology.org, Bandura, HTML. Yun lamang po regarding kay Bandura, Social Cognitive Theory and Self-Efficacy. Hanggang sa muli pong mga live sessions. Paalam!